Hello and welcome to another edition of Marriott MBA Today. I'm your host, Cameron Rich, and today we're talking about funding startups. In the past, it was difficult getting money to fund a good business idea, but thanks to a new website called Kickstarter, entrepreneurs can get a little bit of money from a big crowd of interested people. MBA Today reporter Karen Sullivan shows us how BYU students pull in funding dollars from thousands of people they've never met. How does it work?
Well, Kickstarter allows entrepreneurs to get right to the consumer to fund projects. Since the site's launch in 2009, nearly 4 million people have funded more than 38,000 creative projects, including art and new technology. William Lamb and a team of BYU students invented this portable charger called the Reservoir.
With the Reservoir, they can do more now because they don't have to worry about battery life. They can constantly have it on.
It charges any electronic device, including cell phones, tablets, cameras, or computers, solving the problem of them running out of battery.
My least favorite thing about it is that it really does run out of battery so often.
Lamb's team knew they had a great idea that filled a consumer need. Their problem? No money. But then they heard about a program called Kickstarter, a funding platform for creative projects. The Kickstarter website features new ideas from art to technology. Consumers can invest in the product online to help developers get started.
To me, it's like a rapid way for entrepreneurs to do what they should be doing anyway, which is going out, talking to customers, and validating and seeing, does anybody care?
The first day Lamb put the Reservoir up on the Kickstarter site, they earned $12,000. Within a month, they had $178,000 in seed money.
Based on the goal that we set, 100 grand, and also the amount of traction that we got on social media, we sort of expected that.
The professors in the Marriott School did not invent the Kickstarter program, but they use it as a way to teach students how small investments from a large number of people can launch a product.
Investment's a wonderful thing to scale a company and grow a company only after you've really gotten product market fit. And Kickstarter, to me, is a tool to figure out if you've got product market fit.
Before the students launch on Kickstarter, the Marriott School faculty strongly advise them to polish the ideas and make sure they are ready for public debut. Professor Furr encourages entrepreneurs to nail it first and then scale it, as he wrote in his book.
The way I teach entrepreneurship is that the test of whether your product or solution actually solves a market pain is if people will pay for it. That's the only real test. And obviously, if people are willing to give you money in advance of getting your product or service, that's great proof that you've actually solved some pain.
But not all of the ideas on Kickstarter are as successful as Reservoir. The producer of this film, called Dawn of the Dragon Slayer, put his company Aerostorm Entertainment up on Kickstarter to get funding for future films.
There's really a social networking or a crowdsourcing kind of effect there, same as YouTube or Facebook or something. You want followers on Kickstarter, and that can really happen over time. They recognize you from your multiple projects and judge you by them.
They got $10,000 for their first film. Not as much as Dark Energy, but enough to pay the bills.
We're seeing a lot of increase. Every film that we make on Kickstarter is getting more and more, and we know that part of this, we've run all the metrics, and we know that a lot of this is due to the fact that Kickstarter backers who backed previous projects continue to back successive projects.
But entrepreneurs need to know that Kickstarter does have some drawbacks. Kickstarter takes 5% of the total investment dollars, and Amazon takes another 2 to 5%.
I wish Kickstarter would accept alternate methods of payment. The fact that everybody has to go through Amazon, if you want to buy the product, want to back our project, that's really frustrating and painful. I wish people would just use a simple, flat-out PayPal, credit card.
The business professors find that some of the students skip important steps in product development, such as market research and focus groups, and then rush their incomplete idea to Kickstarter.
Before a Kickstarter, and even in the presence of a Kickstarter, I tell my students, you've got to get out there, you've got to be talking to customers.
The Kickstarter site also does not offer any way to gather feedback from investors who might have suggestions on how to improve the idea or comment on things they liked.
This would be my wish for Kickstarter, is you put your product up there, people don't bite, and you could ask them, why didn't you fund it?
Despite the shortcomings, Kickstarter has found a way to tap into the pockets of lots of people who have a little bit of money to invest. Instead of getting $10,000 from one person, entrepreneurs can now get $1 from 10,000 people.
I think crowdfunding as an idea is a great idea. I don't think it's going to take over the ecosystem of funding, but it's maybe one in a portfolio of solutions as we struggle to say, how do we fund early stage innovation?
This type of funding benefits largely from the social media sites like Facebook and Twitter, which can draw attention to individual Kickstarter projects.
Thanks, Karen. It's interesting to learn how financing a company is being democratized. And thank you for tuning in to another edition of Marriott MBA Today. We'll see you next time.